1-0.
Jai Shri Krishna, everyone. Welcome back. We're doing a really quick episode today because I had some thoughts that I wanted to share on Andrew Tate. I know, like, what does that have to do with religion? But sometimes I have something in society that I just want to speak upon, and I want to talk about Andrew Tate today. So hang out with me for a few minutes this morning, or wherever it is, whatever time it is, and let's talk about this guy that so many of you young men really are into. And, yeah. So this is a very off-the-cuff episode. I wasn't planning on doing something on Andrew Tate, but I met a guy the other day who kind of looked like him. Kind of had the same vibe. Kind of talked the same. That very masculine sort of way, that, that big way that Andrew Tate talks. And I wanted to leave the room as fast as I possibly could. It was creepy. Because personally, I think Andrew Tate is a little creepy. He's successful, yes. But he's also a little creepy. And seeing someone trying to imitate him, my first thought was, I feel sorry for this guy's wife. Life must be miserable. Because this guy is just like, ooh. It was like I couldn't leave his presence fast enough. Guys, a lot of you out there try to imitate Andrew, or you're really into Andrew. And I commend you for being into people. When I was young, I actually wanted to be Doctor Who. And Fonzie, because, hey. Oh, and Rhett Butler, because, dude, Rhett Butler, okay? He's awesome. And you grow up and you do try to imitate your heroes. But Andrew Tate, I think, is not the way of doing it. Because you're complaining about toxic masculinity and how you don't fit it and women want that and maybe you're just some geek like me. So you're following a guy who promotes ultra toxic masculinity. And I'm going to tell you, you probably won't be able to sustain that. You probably won't be able to keep that up over time. I know, because I tried to be things when I was young. I tried to be really macho. I've never been into sports, but I tried to be. I couldn't sustain it. I couldn't keep it up. I couldn't be that person I was trying to be who I thought girls really wanted. I always fell into like this hipster thing and this beatnik wannabe. That was pretty much my personality and still is. I tried to be something that I thought girls would really like, because they're the ones that gotta know who the man is. But they only felt oppressed even more, and I had even less dates than when I just acted my normal geeky self. And I have had lots of dates. My dating life is fine, and I've been in a 9-year relationship too. And before that, there was a 3-year relationship and a 1-year and a 4-year. I've been doing pretty well. But when I tried to be something, it didn't work. The other thing that happens and that I didn't do was a lot of people proclaim they are the victim. They are the victim here. But that doesn't make anything good. When you call yourself the victim, nothing positive comes out of this. Actually, that really cool woman that you want to attract is probably running the other way. Because she's saying she's the victim. So why does she want to hook up with a victim? No, that doesn't work. And Andrew Tate shows off this, fancy lifestyle, which is great. I don't have it. I don't want it. Because I'm happy with the lifestyle I have. I don't see him playing jazz bass or rockabilly bass or listening to Johnny Cash. That makes me happy. That's all that matters, is I'm connecting with what makes me happy. When I try to be Andrew Tate with fancy cars and fancy clothes, I can't sustain it. I don't have his income. I don't have his lifestyle. I can't keep it up. And it becomes just a mask I'm wearing. Trust me on this. I know you're young and you want to imitate him and you want to do all this stuff, but I'm going to tell you, step back a little bit. Find yourself and be yourself. And I say that all the time here on this channel, so that actually has some religious ramifications here. Trust me, when you are yourself, you will find that woman you really like. Because you will find a woman who is herself, and that's who you want to connect with. If you want these big fancy cars that Andrew Tate has, you're going to find some materialistic woman. But the fact is I don't think that's what you want. You don't want a materialistic woman who just wants you for your money. You want a woman who's going to have a good conversation and be nice, and she's going to love you, not just for your money. But if you present this mask, you're not going to find that woman. You're not going to find the woman that loves you. You're going to find this materialistic woman who you may think is great because, oh yeah, we bang and she's sexy in bed, but it won't always be like that. And you won't have sex every single day. You're not Barney from How I Met Your Mother. Most of us aren't. And that gets very boring. Trust me on that. And when you think back on great relationships, it's going to be the woman you hung out with and took a trip with and did something with, not the one you had sex with all the time whose name you actually can't remember anymore. A woman who you want to attract is going to be attracted because you are real to yourself. Be real to yourself, young men. I'm 47, so please don't say I'm being horrible by saying young men. You are younger than me, who I'm talking to. Be real. Trust me on this. When you are real, you will attract people around you. When you fake it, you won't. I have to confess, I faked it a lot. I faked it many times because I've been in situations where I've been broke and I didn't want people to know that. I was out of work. I didn't want people to know that. I wasn't happy with my life, so I tried to be people. At one point, I was thinking I could be Jeff Goldblum because he's so enigmatic. And it always failed, and it always had the opposite reaction. It was like, ugh. So I'm going to confess something. When I was growing up, I wanted to be Groucho Marx. Come on, the guy's funny and hysterical, and he's got the good cigar. And I would try to act like him. Well, not physically act like him, but verbalize and talk like him. And I had such a reputation for being sarcastic and caustic. And everyone was my target. And I was always cutting people down. I was trying to be funny because I thought he was funny. And all my friends thought he was funny. So I just really became that. And you mix some Monty Python in and whatever, and I just was really, really sarcastic as a young man. And what it did was it actually pushed everybody away, because what I didn't realize till I got older was, yes, he's really funny, but he's also kind of creepy. It's like, oh, now that I'm older, I see that he's creepy. Like Andrew Tate. You know, we're in the same age range, and I'm like, yeah, dude, you're creepy. But when I was young, I probably could get it. I didn't realize I didn't see the big picture. So for years and years, I tried to be Groucho Marx. I tried to be this really funny guy, and it failed miserably. Oh my God, it failed so bad. I mean, I dated, but to get a second date, yeah, no, I think I made everyone feel so shitty they didn't want to be around me. So I speak from experience. Now, the irony is, when I was talking about things that I just genuinely liked, I was a big Russophile when I was young. The Soviet Union collapsed. That was fascinating to me. I just wanted to talk about that. I was really into like science fiction, and I was into Doctor Who when Doctor Who was off the air, so that was really niche. If I found someone who was a Doctor Who fan, it was like, oh my God, we're going to be friends. Because it wasn't on the air. People didn't watch it. It wasn't like it is today. I was really into music. When I talked about music, it was really funny. People would come to me and start conversations. I remember I was really cutting and so sarcastic that in class in high school I would often kind of sit on the periphery because no one really wanted to sit with me. um, they couldn't connect with me, and who else is on the periphery but troublemakers? So I often sat in the troublemakers. I remember in art class, I was just like, "Meh, whatever." And then one day, someone mentioned the Red Hot Chili Peppers, who were at that time like at their peak, and I'm just like, "Oh yeah, I really like them. I listen to them all the time." And they just done the Under the Bridge album, and the guy's like, "What? You like the Red Hot Chili Peppers?" Like, yeah, yeah. Oh, I really like them. And I started listening, like, oh, yeah, Black Sabbath and some other bands. And they started nicknaming me Metal because they were so shocked that there was this person underneath here who had all these interests because they didn't know that. I'd put up such a mask that I'd actually hidden all the really interesting traits. So, boys, men, I don't know. I don't like using the word incel, but honestly, I understand the word because I would be there. You are not as bad as they say. You are not evil. You are not crybabies. You are young men trying to be strong, great providers. You are young men trying to develop your interests. You don't hate women, you just want to date. Maybe you like Trump, but that doesn't make you evil. Maybe you hate Trump, but that doesn't make you evil. Maybe you don't have a great job, but maybe someday you will. Maybe people can't see your hopes and dreams. I understand, and I'm going to tell you, don't follow these people who would put you in the same boat that you're already in. If you're not a big masculine guy, then trying to be a big masculine guy isn't necessarily going to work for you. And I think also right now we're seeing like you have to be like Andrew Tate or you have to be a soy boy. But I'm going to tell you guys, there's another option. You can go other ways. You can actually be ultra masculine by doing other things that are actually far more interesting. Okay, I'm going to tell you my thing. If you've never picked it up, I'm a rockabilly guy. My hair's not gelled up right now, but I usually gel my hair back. And when I'm hanging around the house during the day, I'm wearing shit like this. I love my rockabilly stuff. I love my classic 50s stuff. And it's very masculine without this toxic masculinity. And you'd be shocked by how many people kind of gravitate to it. They really like that style because it's just very traditional, which we all kind of, I think a lot of us like, but it's not this toxic thing. It's a different type of masculinity. Also, I really love dressing up in suits. I got that from watching old 1950s films, Cary Grant, Rhett Butler, whatever. I love dressing up in that. And that's a different type of masculinity that's very interesting, very attractive. Actually, it's hot, so I'm just going to take this off. And I find women kind of like that because it actually shows that you have something more than just some old t-shirt you wear all the time, and you actually give time to your appearance. And that's a big thing. That you can do. That you can do is give time to your appearance. Because women, they give time to their appearance, so isn't it only fair that we do the same thing? Um, so if you feel like you're here, but you don't want to be here, but you don't know how to do it, there's other options for you, gentlemen. There's other ways, other things you can do to express yourself and be a man without following some of these people out there. A lot of it is just connecting with yourself, just being who you are, and you will find the woman that really likes you. Trust me, you really will. If you don't give up, if you go out there and you go out there and go out there, and yes, you're going to burn through about 100 women, and some of them are just going to be like, oh, they're so sexy, but she hates me, or I can't get a second date, or I couldn't even finish the first date. But you'll eventually find the woman you really like, and who likes you. And she'll fit your package, she'll be fine, she'll be great. Now, some people might criticize me and then go say, well, you're trying to connect with yourself, but look, you're doing the rockabilly thing. But honestly, it does connect. When I was like, I was in elementary school, like the fourth or fifth grade. Yeah, I think it's fourth or fifth grade, maybe even younger than that. I would run around the house listening to my mom's Elvis album. She only had one. Actually, she had two. One was a Christmas album. and I would run around it with a little cape. Um, and I'd be like, "You Mr. So lonely, baby. I'm Mr. So lonely. I could die." Da 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 da. Or I'd be like, I'd stop and I'd do a pose, and then I'd run back to my room, and I'd come back and do a pose again, and I'd run back to my room. So I loved Elvis, and I loved that whole world. So for me to express the rockabilly thing, you could say, well, it's a mask, but it's also connecting with my childhood. When I first started playing music, I was 14, and I wanted to play bass because I was listening to boom, boom, ticka boom, ticka boom, that old sort of Elvis sound, that's all right, mama. And I was really into jazz bass, and I was just like wowed by all that. And so I picked up the guitar because I didn't actually know what a bass was. I just thought this was a very huge instrument that I wasn't smart enough to learn. And I picked up the guitar and then I picked up the bass, but I would take my bass and put it on its side and try to play it like an upright. So you might say, well, this is fake, but at the same time, it also connects with something that was part of my youth. I'm just sort of reconnecting with that. So it's not putting on a mask, it's being me. Versus like when I tried to be Jeff Goldblum for like a year, it just failed miserably. I mean, I might have faults, but I, I, I mean, I might be weird, but yeah, I just couldn't do his style of weird. But trust me, guys, if you are struggling, if you are yourself, you will have success. Um, so I do see the chat. I just had it on another window. I am here. I don't have much time, so I'm just going to hit a few questions. Uh, Let me just hit a few questions here before I go on the chat. Hang on one second. I don't like his thoughts on women. I don't think they're helping the conversation any. How do you become yourself? Well, that's what I talk about a lot on the show in terms of a spiritual world. But how do you become yourself? I'll tell you how I did it. I explored as many different things as I could. I tried to experience everything cool. I tried to do everything I could. There was no experience I wouldn't turn away, both good and bad. And then eventually I found certain things, excuse me, connected with me. For example, I really liked music and I moved and I was still listening to music and like gravitating to bands. I really love history, and everywhere I would go, and I lived around the world, I would buy a history book of that area. So it's like, oh, okay, I guess history and music are kind of like the two things that really jive with me because no matter how much my life changes, I always gravitate to music and history. Politics is something else that I'm really interested in. I also discovered that wherever I went, I was always writing. I was always doing stuff like composing, trying to write music, or trying to write a book, or trying to write poetry. I was always writing, even if nobody ever saw it, and even if it got deleted. And at one point, I thought it was just something I was doing in school, and then I left school, and then I'm still writing. So I realized, okay, writing is how I express myself, other than talking. So I just began to focus on those things, and then I went with it. Okay, I really like writing. Let me go with that. And then that's kind of how I found myself. And I've had some pretty low moments. Was just ex- exploring things and discovering things, and getting out there in the world and trying things. Like I said, I tried to be Jeff Goldblum for a year. What other chit chats are here? Yes, I can see you, but I just had a different window open. I was reading notes. So I just want to say a few things. And like I said, this whole talk has been completely off the cuff. I just was like, I just wanted to say something. Just like, come on, guys. We, we got this. Trust me, we got this. And I'll tell you also a little bit, a few things that have actually helped me, very materialistic things. Get yourself a good haircut, trim your beard, um, wear some nice clothes, and I'll tell you my super secret, and then I'm going to leave you because I actually have to go to work. Sexy underwear. Now, I'm not talking about sexy underwear for your woman, I mean sexy underwear for yourself. I know, I know. If you're wearing something that makes you feel great, it comes out. It's like also if you're wearing clothes that make you feel good, it comes out. People respond to that. You're sending out a vibe. You're just like, yeah, this shirt makes me feel good. My shorts make me feel good. I got awesome socks on. And it's just the whole package deal. It's the whole vibe. It's actually, believe it or not, what women do. They put on makeup to feel good. They put on this. They put on this black dress. Just do what they're doing in a way. And that helps. That's a very materialistic response of how to sort of boost your confidence up and get out there. So, I actually have to go to work, so I absolutely must leave this now. This is completely off the cuff. I've probably said a bunch of stuff that is contradictory or doesn't make sense, but I'll come back and do another show later if I feel that's the case. But I just want you to know, like, yeah, you got this. You really got this. And I completely understand, and I'm with you, but yeah, okay, that's it. I've talked about underwear on a religious channel, so we've gone into some strange places. Jai Shri Krishna. Yeah, sorry.